Salutations! I'm Patchouli Fox, you can call me Patch, and welcome to this video. First off, I will address the elephant in the room of how it's been over a year or so since my last video, and how I have rebranded since then. Anyone who's kept up with me on Twitter or other platforms likely has already seen me change from Patchicun to Patchouli Fox. It just felt like it was time for me to rebrand, and I feel like I enjoy the new name and such a lot more. With that out of the way, time to move on to what this video is actually about. The Legend of Zelda. Specifically, I wanted to talk about a theory that I've been thinking about since we learned about the Sky Islands and how that has kind of evolved and what I think might be revealed once Tears of the Kingdom comes out. I'm sure at this point many people know about or have heard mention of the Zonai tribe. In terms of Breath of the Wild's story and initial lore, they didn't seem to be too important. At most, they were kind of a one-off mentioned mystery tribe in the game. If I recall correctly, the barbarian armor is supposed to be based on this tribe as well. And while being the Zelda nerd that I am, I at one point looked through the entirety of the Creating a Champion book once I heard about the Zonai personally to try and see what I could figure out about them. And in that whole book, they're really only mentioned twice, if I remember correctly. Once where they are initially mentioned, it's said that they're a tribe that was very adept with magic and existed in the Faron region of Hyrule, but then suddenly disappeared hundreds of years ago, and another time where there's a map that points out where all the Zonai ruins are. With the latter information, I went around myself in-game to take a look at the ruins, and most of them weren't really much of note, at least the ones that I went to investigate in-game myself, because they were just sort of the crumbled structures that you can't glean much from given the information we have in Breath of the Wild alone. The best guess I could give for many of them is that they were once temples or places where the members of the tribe would gather. With the newest game trailers that showed us more of the Sky Islands, I think this is even more solid of an idea of them being small temples of sorts, because I felt like there were buildings or structures on the Sky Islands that we saw in the trailers that looked kind of similar. One of the ruin spots that stands out the most is actually the fact that the Zonai tribe has some ruins right by the Shrine of Courage. I'm not sure how much to glean from this information myself, but they are the most intact out of pretty much everything aside from a couple other dragon statues here and there. And there's a big dragon structure that's there, which I assume now with what we've seen of more Zonai symbols and a sort of Ouroboros type dragon imagery behind the game title, that will have more revealed about it and play into the lore as well as we learn more about them. It's also interesting to just note how most other areas have fallen to ruin, but those remnants are still looking pretty nice. It almost makes me wonder if there were still people who visited it to care for it, especially since there was the shrine being located there, or perhaps that its location within a forest helped protect it from the elements more here and there. Another structure, or structures, that I feel are interesting to point out are those strange towers located around various spots within Hyrule. The ones that I remember the most are the ones that kind of are around the field by the castle, or at least in view of the castle. They seem pretty inconsequential at first, but knowing what we know now of the Sky Island's existence, well, I think I can really get into the meat of my theory here. My initial thought regarding the Zonai tribe is that they for some reason foresaw the return of Calamity Ganon, and since they were so adept with magic, they decided they were going to go with their own plan of survival and to stay safe. So they built these structures around Hyrule, towers that they could stand on perhaps while they cast a spell together, to where these spots could work as their ticket to getting into the sky and starting a life amongst the islands up there. How they would be so sure or know about the Sky Islands, I don't know, but seeing as there have been islands in the sky in other games as well, such as Minish Cap and Twilight Princess, it doesn't seem too far-fetched that perhaps there are just remnants up there from what was once Skyloft and Skyward Sword, and that there's still magic of sorts that keeps them hidden away just in case. Now, this theory, as I sat with it, was kind of stagnant for a while. There wasn't much other information to work off of outside of various speculation, but then we got those new trailers, and that got me to thinking even more about just who the Zonai tribe could be. One of the biggest things for me was in one of the videos promoting the game, we see Link fighting a robot on one of the Sky Islands, and after he defeats it, one of the materials he picks up specifically has the word Zonai on it and relating to it. So that's enough there to show that those robots in the Sky Islands and Tears of the Kingdom have some sort of connection to this mysterious tribe. Which, speaking of mysterious, according to senior lead artist Makoto Yonezu, Zonai is an anagram of the Japanese word nazo, which means mystery or puzzle. Shout out to the Zelda wiki, having that in their trivia section, by the way, because that was something I don't think I noticed or remembered seeing when I was looking through the book myself. The Creating a Champion book, I mean, because that's where that information was found. Anyways, I find that anagram very interesting, because to me it seems important. Sometimes things like that can be very intentional. The puzzle part I find amusing because the Zelda wiki also points out that many of the stone and metal blocks for Korok puzzles have Zonai markings on them, but the mystery part is what stands out to me the most, because as I was pondering more about the tribe, I had to wonder, what if the word Zonai is essentially some equivalent to mystery, but it could have been an old Hylian word that was never translated properly? I don't think it's too out there, considering we've seen various versions of the Hylian language throughout the games over the years, and over hundreds of years a language can change quite a bit. To get to my point, I think this mystery tribe may very well be another offshoot of the Sheikah tribe, because how else would they be making such advanced robots up in the sky? Perhaps they brought some along with them. My guess is that they also potentially ran away and broke off from the Sheikah tribe fully when the Sheikah technology was initially banished and had to be buried and hidden away. I could see there being people who didn't want to give up on something they had worked so hard to accomplish, and so instead they would choose to find a way to leave and prosper elsewhere, but while still feeling a duty to watch over Hyrule in some sense, thus heading to the Sky Islands. That way, they could end up continuing to develop how they wanted while being able to potentially come down and help Hyrule if need be, whether it be by using their own limited technology to try and help fight off the calamity, or ensuring that there would still be some place for survivors to flee to where they could survive until they could take back their home on the surface, much like Skyward Sword's story. So, to try and sum up everything quick, I think the Zonai tribe are both an offshoot of the Sheikah tribe and for some reason decided to escape/leave to the Sky Islands, and that we may get to see and learn more about them in Tears of the Kingdom. Thank you so much for watching my video. It means a lot to me that you sat here and essentially just listened to me ramble about a series that I have loved for many years, and I just felt like trying to get back into content creation again suddenly, and this felt like a good way to do it. I know it's gonna be a little the production of this video, but I figured you gotta start somewhere, and hey, I guess third time's the charm, and I'm definitely gonna try and still put out more videos here and there when I get the chance, and try to set more reasonable goals for me with content creation to ease myself more into it. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you like and subscribe, because I am going to be doing my best to putting more out there. Even if it's just like one video a month for a bit, I'm still gonna be trying to do something. And you know what? If you want, why not leave a comment? You can talk to me about your own theories about Tears of the Kingdom if you'd like to share them. Or even just tell me, what are you most excited to see and try in the game? I'd love to know. I'm personally very intrigued by the sort of fusing mechanic, and I'm most excited to just explore Hyrule all over again. I've spent so much time just wandering around in Breath of the Wild. Anyways, until next time, be good, have fun, and I'll see you somewhere on the internet.